feel free on the right-hand side of the GoToMeeting, or excuse me, the GoToWebinar panel. There's a section for questions. Feel free to enter any questions that you have there, and we will address those. We'll address all the questions before we take off today. So not just questions about what we're talking about today. We're happy to answer any questions you have about Mindflash in general or the product or whatever, so just let us know, and we will do that for you. So the first thing we're going to start with here real quickly is just a rundown of what we're doing here today. So we've got a few exciting things that we've made mention of before, but we're on the verge of release here. The first is customer training. We've had a lot of requests around this. We actually have a lot of customers who are already training their customers on Mindflash, but we have, through our research and requests from customers, found that there's a common set of feature requests coming from those folks. So we've had a pretty vigorous effort in the last couple of months to build those features, and we've released some of them already, but we're going to talk about how they all tie together and talk about the new ones that will be coming out shortly. Another thing that we've been working on that's been a long effort for us for sure is mobile training, particularly on tablets, and support for not only iPad but also Android devices. So we can talk about that for a few minutes, and then we'll spend just a minute or two talking about what we're currently working on, and then, as I mentioned, address your questions toward the end. So first off, just a brief summary or a recap of things that we have done recently for anyone that might have not been attending all of our webinars or seen what's been going on, or certainly new people. This is part of our mobile move that we've been making. New course player, new dashboard. These are mobile friendly, so you can view them on mobile devices. They're optimized for tablets, as we'll cover in a minute, but definitely a huge effort, and not only cleaned up sort of the design that's there, but also made them so that they work on any device. Restricted public registration. This is a feature that allows you to open your courses for public registration so that your trainees can enroll themselves in those courses, but it restricts the people who can do that to only people who are already in your system. So a scenario for you on this, if you are doing training of your own customers or employees and you don't want the general public to get in because it's confidential information or proprietary to your company, you can upload a list of all your trainees. You can publish a list of your courses, even through another feature that we'll cover here in a little bit, which is our course catalog, that makes it so that effectively people could go and browse those courses. They can sign up for it, and if they already have an account on Mindflash, they can then enroll in that course. Someone from the outside, like myself, if I stumbled across those courses, would not be able to register for your courses because I don't have an account on your Mindflash account. The other thing you'll notice here is in parentheses it says all on both of these. We have 3 feature tiers that you can select when you are a customer of Mindflash that have various features on them. When it says all there on the right-hand side, this is a feature that's been released to everyone. It's not on a specific tier. So both of these have been released to everyone who uses Mindflash. Course catalog, I made quick reference to this. This is the ability to list courses on a single page. You can do that within Mindflash. This is a public listing, effectively. You can group your courses or series together and make them available to people, whether you link to it on your website or you put it on your intranet or something like that, and people could browse your courses. This is a feature that's available on the Advanced and the Pro tiers. Focus Assist on desktops and laptops for iPad Advanced and Pro, and iPad Advanced and Pro. This is one feature that we're actually pretty excited about. This allows for you to guarantee that your trainees are actually viewing the content. One of the challenges with online training is that you could create a video that's 5 minutes long. Your trainee could hit play on it and start watching it. They could walk away from their computer, let it play for 5 minutes, come back, and then hit the next button, and you'd never know if they actually sat there and watched it. Our Focus Assist product will ensure that they actually watched it. It actually can guarantee that they're paying attention to the screen, or at least they're looking at the screen as the video or the content is playing. So this is available for any course that we have in the system. If you're on Advanced or Pro, it's available now. You can turn it on if you'd like to. And it only requires that they have a webcam on either their mobile device or their iPad or their desktop. So really cool feature. If you have any questions about how it works or want any details, certainly let us know. Advanced permissions. This is a very highly requested feature from our bigger programs. Then that's the reason that it falls on our Pro tier here. But this is a situation where, or often used in a situation where you want to restrict the level of access or what a trainer or someone with elevated access can do in the system. So previously we had 3 different tiers of access for non-trainees. So we had a manager, we had a trainer, and we have an admin. Our advanced permissions allow you to restrict the people that each of those roles can see. So for example, if you have a manager of a specific location and you're a restaurant, and you just want that manager to see the results and enroll their people in courses, then you can create a group. You can assign the manager to that group as the person that has control over it. And when that manager logs into Mindflash, they would only be able to see the trainees in their group and enroll their trainees in courses. So it's a way of saying, Terrence is responsible for X number of employees, and when he logs into Mindflash, he can only see those employees. And Jason is responsible for different employees, and when he logs in, only he can see those employees. So that is a feature that is available on our Pro tier. Okay, so let's get into the main part of our presentation today, which is our new features that are coming along. We are on the verge of releasing most of these. They will be out early, or most likely next week. But we want to give you a quick run through on kind of what it consists of and how they're created and used. We have a whole series of new features that we're going to be talking about here that are really aimed toward training customers. And that's been a bit of an area of big effort for us in the last few months. We have a lot of folks that are already doing customer training, and so we have a suite of features around that will really help optimize the product for them and make it so that they have the necessary tools to reach those customers. So you can see here there's a lot of different things that we're solving for. Things like custom URLs. You'll see customization and design is a big theme in a lot of these. So custom URL, selling courses. So a lot of our customers sell courses to their customers, whether they're existing customers or just the general public. Listing courses in a public catalog, I touched on that briefly. Removing Mindflash branding completely. So this is any mention of Mindflash within the product or emails. That combined with custom URL would, of course, remove Mindflash entirely. And then lastly, one of the items you see there is the custom certificates. Very highly requested and has been requested for quite some time. And we have what we're pretty excited about is a pretty solid solution on this that will allow you to design a certificate however you want. So all really exciting features here. What we're going to do now is we're going to hop into a demo of a few of those. But first of all, I wanted to just kind of run through a scenario or why you would use a lot of these different features. As I mentioned, they're mostly targeted at customer training. A few of these features may be relevant to other of you out there that are doing employee training, or certainly that's fine. But we view these as kind of a suite of features that will be largely used by our customer training customers. So most often what we're asked for, the scenario that we see that this would be useful for, is someone who's offering courses to their customers. So in many cases, they're software companies, or they have a website that they send people to. On that website, they want to be able to list their courses. That's where the public catalog comes in. So if you're not selling courses, you can just create a list of all of your courses, and people can go and sign up for those courses. Once they do that, they can be sent to take their Mindflash courses or register to take their Mindflash courses. You can have those courses live on a custom domain. So, for example, you could have training.acmetraining.com or .yourcompany.com. Whatever your company's domain is, you can create a subdomain if you wanted to. So it takes the whole mindflash.com out of the URL. That also is pushed through to all the emails that are sent and everything like that. So there's no mention of the Mindflash domain if you want to set up the custom domain. The other option here that you see, or the other feature that you see here, is the ability to turn off Mindflash branding. As it stands now, there's a small Powered By logo at the bottom of the trainee dashboard. There's a small logo in the email, the automated emails that we send. By turning that off, it would remove all of those mentions of Mindflash, and it effectively goes as an unbranded. They don't know that you're using Mindflash. That's very important for a lot of companies that are trying to control their brand or that don't want to disclose who they're using. All that's fine. You can turn it off, combine it with a custom URL, and there will never be any mention of Mindflash. It's all about your brand and your content. And then lastly, the custom certificates. This is often used for continuing education, or you just have strict brand guidelines. Very commonly from our customers that are training their customers, this is a requirement because they have to adhere to strict brand guidelines whenever they're dealing with their customers. This will allow you to do that. You can upload a custom template. You can put custom information on it. Really everything you want to do there. We'll go through exactly what that looks like in a minute. But I wanted to kind of run through what that scenario is and why you would tie all of these different features together. On top of all this, or in addition to all of this, we also are integrating with a company called Shopify, which is a shopping cart, a web-based shopping cart, that will allow you to sell your courses and charge for them. That is outside of Mindflash. You would have a Shopify account. We integrate with it. You can connect the two. And then whenever you create a course, you can set the price for a course, and your trainees would be required to pay that in order to get access to the course. Okay, so all that said, let's hop into a couple of quick examples of how things are done, and we'll show you kind of how it happens in the app, and then we can go from there. So, okay. So the first thing I'm going to go through just real quickly here, because it's relatively easy, is for turning off the Mindflash branding. If you go to the Manage Accounts screen, and again, these features will be released in about a week, so you don't have this option at the moment, but when you do, this is how you will do it. There's just a checkbox right here. You can uncheck that, and it will turn off any of the branding in the emails or in the portal. The other thing that we did as part of this, just as a quick aside, is we cleaned up a lot of the language and the display in the emails that we send. So a lot of you are familiar with the emails that we send. They had a bit of a background on them. There were a couple places people could link. We still have the same function there where there's some set text that goes, and they obviously have a link to click on the course to start it. But we've cleaned up the display of that, and even for the people that have the Mindflash logo in there, it's minimized and put down in the corner. It's a lot less prominent. And we also took out the link to the iPad app that was in there. So we've really cut down on our branding in general, but of course you do have the option to turn it off if you'd like to. Okay. So you'll also may have noticed as I was in that page that this particular portal is set up with a custom domain. That can be done on the Manage Account screen as well. Sorry, I should have covered that when I was here, but you can see here it's got a custom domain. That can easily be added. We have help docs in our help center on how to do that. We will also have help docs on any of these features that we're talking about, so I would encourage you to go there and see how to set that up if you're interested in that. Next, I mentioned how Shopify works. Again, we'll have help documentation on that, but you will have to have a Shopify account. if you're interested in selling your courses, and there will be integration that's also available on the Manage Account page when that is released. Public Course Catalog, I'm going to go through that real quickly. We've talked a little bit about that. This was a product or a feature that we released previously, but I want to show you how that works. From the home screen, you can see there's all these different options here, catalog being one. There's also under the Create New, you can create a catalog. Pretty easy to create one. You'll notice that there are aspects of this interface that are similar to series. You can come in here, choose which courses to include in your catalog. I want to include these two and this series. I want to add them in my catalog. You can choose who you share it with and name your catalog, put a description on it. This is where the current users, so people that are already in Mindflash, come into play versus just the general public, meaning anyone, any random person can sign up for it. Once you do that, you've chosen to share it, which means that it's effectively live and people could go to it. The URL is available, or you could email it to people and you can post it to the various social media integrations that we have. And then lastly here, Terrence is going to show you real quickly how our custom certificates work and how you can get that all set up. So I'll let him handle that right now.
Thanks, Jason. So let me jump into custom certificates. As you know, that certificates are a pretty cool way to prove for your trainees to get when they finish up their courses. What we have been receiving a lot of requests for is the ability to have the custom certificates being made. So this really ties in with branding. And if your brand is really important to you, it's definitely you can actually build a custom certificate. So I'm going to jump into that real quick. You can do this on the course and at the series level as well. So once you're in the course dashboard, usually just quickly click on the Customize tab, click on Change Certificate Style, just like you would normally do. Maybe this kind of this goldish one is maybe not your taste or doesn't really kind of fit well with your company's branding guidelines. You can go ahead and click here where it says Edit Custom Certificates. Opens up the Custom Certificate Editor. And we have the ability to, you can download a template. This is a purely a template for somebody like your graphic designer and your company to be able to create the certificate. They're just guidelines to let you know, let them know when they design it. There are certain spaces where we would put text in, so you don't have any text that's covered, or maybe you have a logo you want to put in. You don't want that to be covered up. You can easily, I'll just kind of go in and show you what it's like to upload a certificate. So I'll go. Click here, upload background image here. I'm going to pick a red certificate, which I have created already. And just like that, as you can see, it says Acme Health Corporation. I can choose the field that I want to put in there. Maybe I already have the company name, so that's already put into the actual template. And I can say, well, I want to put the training name at the very top. I can click another field and say, I think I'll have a course name down over here. And I can see that I have a logo that I do want to show here as well, so I want to make sure nothing shows up there. And I can easily just select a blank space so that it shows up. As you can see, I've also embedded my own text in here. So it's something that if your company likes to do any kind of continuing education with continuing credits, you can add something there like this course earns you 10 credits or any kind of text that you like. And I've also put my lovely signature here on the bottom right because I'm the trainer and I want people to know that I've approved of this certificate that I've created. Another bonus here, like let's say perhaps right after the course name, I can click and scroll down here. I can put things like the employee ID number. I can put something like, let's see here, maybe your level of certification, or you can actually put an actual text field. So if it's not something that you have in the certificate itself, I can put something here such as congratulations, and just like that, it'll be in the actual certificate once it's created. So I've actually already created a certificate, and I can quickly show you what that looks like. This is the template that I used, and then right behind this is one of the certificates that we've created using Mindflash. So as you can see, the logo's there as well. Of course, earns you 10 credits. I decided to put the employee ID on the bottom left here to make sure that Aaron Anderson is this specific employee, just in case you have more than one of those in your company. and also the title of the course. So like I said, it's also available on series as well. And just for fun, we can actually show you how far you can go with it. If you want to put something a little bit different in there, we'll put this one there. It's kind of crazy looking, but this kind of gets the point across that it's pretty endless of what you can do as far as customizing this as it goes. So that's custom certificates.
Great. So these are the features, as I mentioned, that are kind of built around customer training. Our customer training package and these features are available on our Pro tier, or will be available on our Pro tier. So if you are interested in accessing these and training customers, etc., then please feel free to reach out to us, and you can obviously upgrade your account if you'd like to. But if you're interested in getting access to these and going on an annual agreement, which we do offer for a discount, please feel free to get in touch with sales at Mindflash, or me directly, and we can help you get going on that. So that's customer training. The next thing that we're going to talk about here real quickly, which actually I believe Terrence is going to talk about again, is mobile training and the efforts that we've made around that recently.
Great, thanks, Jason. So mobile training. So we've been receiving a lot of requests for people to be able to take training on pretty much any device they want. There's a plethora of different devices out there, from iPads to Kindles to Samsung tablets, and the list goes on. So with our efforts of working on our new HTML player that we talked about earlier in this webinar, answer different questions like, I want my trainees to be able to take training on the go. My organization wants to send out, we tell them that they can only use an Android device. Maybe a Samsung Galaxy tablet is something that the company has issued to everybody. My field reps are always traveling across the country or around the world. They don't want to carry laptops. They just want to carry a nice, small, thin tablet of their choice. And we have that available to be able to make that happen. So basically, the answer to all these questions is Mindflash training is available on Android tablets and on the iPad. And once again, as a reminder, we do also have an iPad app that works really well. So it's a seamless. You can jump back just like any of the courses in the series that your trainees are taking right now. It works exactly the same way. You can take it on the laptop. Maybe you're at the airport, you're taking some training, and you want to switch over to like your tablet device once you're in the air and connected to the Wi-Fi. You can continually take training there, and it's a seamless integration. So it pretty much sums up mobile training there, actually.
And access to any of the iPad app, and obviously to take courses on any mobile device or any tablet is available on all of our tiers. So just to make that clear, there's no additional charge, nor do you have to be on an elevated tier to gain access to the mobile training aspects. That certainly has become an increasing interest for a lot of people. So we're excited to be able to offer that. Okay, so I just wanted to stop real quickly and mention two things. First is that for anyone who is registered for this webinar, they will be sent a link to the recording of it. So you will be getting an email in the next 24, 48 hours or so with a link to it if you want to review any of this. So you will get that. And then lastly, I mentioned at the beginning, but if you do have any questions, there's a question box on your right-hand side of the GoToWebinar. Feel free to enter any questions you have there, whether it's about these specific features or anything else with Mindflash, related to Mindflash. You can send those in, and we will answer those before we take off today. So we'll start hitting those pretty soon, so feel free to send those. Okay, next, some things that are coming, things that we're currently working on. You see two things here. These are both really big projects, as the company in general would attest to. Couple of things that we're really excited about. The first one, SCORM support for Captivate and Articulate Storyline. Those are two content creation tools that a lot of our customers are interested in using. And so we are in the process of supporting SCORM outputs from both of those tools. And those tools will be able to be used to create content for a Mindflash course. They're particularly interesting, and the reason we chose those two specifically to support are Captivate gives you the ability to do screen recordings, which is really exciting. They also do a PowerPoint conversion, though I'd argue ours is better. Personal opinion, I might be jaded on that, but anyways, you can do PowerPoint conversion. You could import video into it. So basically, it's a means of creating a presentation to put into a course. But the screen capture is particularly good around that. They also have interactive elements that you can include. All of that will be supported as part of the SCORM support. And then the second product there, Articulate Storyline, that was released roughly a year ago. And there's been a lot of really positive things that have been said about it, and I know a lot of people have had great experiences using it. So that's another product that we are going to specifically support. So we're probably a month and a half away from release on that, so definitely stay tuned. And we will give more detail on that as we get closer, but that's a big project, and we're well into it at this point, so we're excited about that. The second one you see there is just an extension of our continued mobile efforts. We get requests for smartphones. As you can imagine, delivering a PowerPoint over a smartphone is a bit of a challenge, just due to the small size of the screen and how you interact with it. So it requires a bit of a rethinking more than just shrinking things down and making it so that you can play it on a mobile device. So we're in the process of doing that. I don't have a specific around when that will be released. It's kind of an ongoing effort on our part. But look for that in the near future as well. And certainly for those of you that have requested that, we've heard your requests, and this is on the roadmap for us as part of our mobile efforts. Okay, so that is the bulk of what we've got going on with the new features and what's coming up. What we'll hop into now is some questions and answers, questions from you, and hopefully brilliant answers from, well, particularly Terrence, but also me. So let's get into those. Can we please get a copy of the presentation emailed to us? Absolutely, just covered that, but we will send those, or send a link to that to anyone who registered for this within the next 24, 48 hours. Any talk of integrating with Infusionsoft? To be completely honest, no, there's not any talk of that. To my knowledge, I don't know that we've ever heard that request before. Certainly something that we can put on our request list and look at, but at this point, it's not something that we're considering doing. I want to sell my courses, but do not use Spotify. Do not use Shopify. I assume I can sell through my normal mechanism and send a link to a course via autoresponder after the client is paid through my normal shopping cart. So any process that you've got going right now for selling courses in terms of taking payment and then inviting people to courses, that will still remain in effect. You could certainly do it that way. The big advantage of using Shopify is the really tight integration that we have with them that will allow automatic, or I should say immediate, well, both automatic and immediate access to courses. As soon as they pay, they get access to the course. So the person who's buying the course doesn't have to wait to be invited to the course in a sort of a manual manner. So that's why we have that tight integration there. But certainly if you've got a process that's working outside of the system, that's actually something that one of our customers, Yammer, has been doing for quite some time now. They collect payment and then they're manually inviting people. Those avenues are still available. I would encourage you to look at Shopify if you haven't already, because they're very competitive in terms of rates, and it's a very flexible tool. So it's possible that you could use them for whatever your current efforts are and replace what you're currently using. So definitely something to think about, but you can attack that however you'd like. Is there an integration where once a participant has completed their course, the Mindflash system notifies us with an email that the course has been completed and who completed it from within our CRM? You want to handle that one?
The short answer is no. I'm sorry?
Sure. No. So there is a way you can do that. First of all, we do send automated emails that can be turned on for each of your courses. So on the Customize tab of your course, You can choose how often you receive those automated notifications. One of the notifications you will receive is when a course is completed, as well as the status of that course. Their status of a completion, whether they passed or failed. So you can get those instantaneously for each of the people that complete. So whenever someone completes a course, it will fire you an email and tell you that. The other alternative with this, if you have the means to use it, is that we do offer an API that allows you to pull that information from our database directly, and that would allow you to integrate with your CRM system, so you could do that in an automated fashion. So the email version would be sort of a manual option where you could go into your CRM and say, yeah, this person completed, fire out a certificate, but the automated option would be through the API. The other thing I would say is that you should be able to create your certificates in Mindflash now using our custom certificate tool. So, obviously there's going to be some exceptions to that. It's something that for some reason we can't support. But I would definitely look hard at our new custom certs option to see if that can solve the problem for you, because it's going to be way less of a headache for you if it's just automatically issuing certificates. It's also going to be better for your trainees because they have immediate access to their certificate and they don't have to wait for it or bother you if you miss it or forget or whatever.
The next question is if you're able to change fonts for certificates. Currently, we don't have that functionality. However, if there's a specific font that you're thinking of, such as maybe the course name, you can add that to your template that you want to upload. So just kind of a quick reminder, the custom certificates is specific to that specific course in the series, so that you can have different certificates for different courses that you have out there. So next question is similar to that, and it's about size, and I just kind of answered that already.
I would love to give a live training just like you're doing now, and then have each user drop into the quiz portion and then print their certificate. Is that function available? There's not a direct integration with a live training tool. What you can probably do, and what most people do, is a lot of these tools, and we use GoToWebinar, GoToMeeting. A lot of these tools allow you to export a list quite easily via Excel of attendees, and then you can upload that list into Mindflash to enroll them in a course. So that would be your best bet. It is a download a list, upload the list scenario, but it is relatively easy to do, and you could immediately get people into courses that way. That's also, just as an aside, if you want to use Mindflash to keep records of sort of your offline or your live training, inviting them to a quiz is a great means of doing that. When you create that course in Mindflash, you put your quiz in there, and you invite people to it. You'll then have a record of who actually took that quiz, and that would correlate with who was in your course and who attended that session. So definitely something to think about if you are doing live training, so you have all the records in one place. Okay, regarding advanced permissions, a manager can be restricted to working with trainees in their designated groups, but what about restricting to designated courses or series? This is not a feature that's available, so our advanced permissions allow for, or on the trainee level, so you can restrict who can see what trainees, but it doesn't restrict course content. Typically, the best way to do that is by using a combination of the trainer and manager permissions. So what you would do is just make those that can create and change your content trainers. They would still be able to see other courses and adjust other content, but if you limit the number of people who have trainer access, that's a general policy that we suggest, because the fewer people you have access, the less likely crazy stuff is to happen. And then you would just use the manager level permissions to restrict who those managers can see. I assign training in steps with a quiz following each step. When the trainee completes the step quiz, they can proceed. I would like to be able to assign the next step via mobile device, but I cannot seem to do that currently via iPhone. Do you have a capability, or will you? Okay, so basically this is a question of, can you get trainer access or to the admin side via iPhone or mobile device? The answer to that is no. We don't support mobile on the trainer side. There are not any immediate plans to do that. It's definitely something that is on our roadmap sort of longer term, and we're definitely aware of that, and you'll see efforts in the future that move us in that direction. But as it stands right now, that's not possible. Can we fully customize emails that Mindflash sends out to trainees?
Yeah, the customization is a little bit light. You can just add the text that you're thinking about adding there. So we do embed the text that's more related to the course itself, letting them know that they can take a specific course. Here is a link to the course. But outside of that, you can put something that's kind of more specific to yourself, such as maybe you want to put this earns you X amount of credits, or any kind of messages that you want to add and go along with it. Yeah, and they can also send your emails themselves. Maybe if you have something like series or course catalog, that can be all done kind of manually. So outside of Mindflash. The next question is about finishing the last steps on generating the custom certificates. I might have maybe kind of skipped over that. I can take you there real quick. 1 second here. Oops, sorry. So I'm sorry, we just left the green and yellow stars certificates there. But basically, what you can do here, you can actually type the name of a trainee. I don't have any trainees in this course right now, but if I did, then it would automatically pick the first person on the list, so you can actually do the preview. So if I have my name in there, or if I'm a trainer, my name will already show up there, and I can just hit the download PDF preview. And what that does, it gives you a preview of what the certificate should look like, which I've shown a little bit earlier. When you finish that up, you hit the apply button here. You can go back to the customize page, and what the certificate changes to is something a little more generic, letting you know that you are using a custom certificate. So right after people complete this course, they can go in and download that certificate, and it'll be that specific custom one. And also, like I said a little bit earlier, this course is specific. This custom certificate is specific to this course. So if you created a new course, that custom certificate can't carry over, but you can also change it for that specific course, so the second course that you created. So it's very specific to courses rather than it's a global change to all the courses in series.
Okay. If I want to incorporate an interactive quiz throughout a training module I'm teaching, does Mindflash have the capabilities to track that quiz? Absolutely. You can create any number of quizzes within Mindflash. You don't necessarily have to have content in your courses. So it's very possible to create a course that just has a quiz in it, or even just has a survey in it. That's certainly allowed, and definitely an option. If you're giving a live training, or you're doing a live training, I mentioned earlier, a quiz is a great way to keep a record of the fact that they attended and how they did in that course. But definitely, I mean, you just invite them when you need them to take it, and they would receive an email with that invitation. So certainly an option there. Are we able to delete users now, not deactivate, but actually delete, so they're no longer seen in my account? The answer to that is no. Deactivation is your only option. You can obviously filter them out of any reports that you need to if you just don't want to see the people, but it is not possible to completely delete people. Integration with Salesforce. We don't have a specific package for integration with Salesforce, in that it's available in the App Exchange if any of you are familiar with how Salesforce works. But we do offer an API that would allow you to pull information and then put it into Salesforce if you wanted to. So it's a bit more of a custom option, but you could do that if you were interested in using the API and you had the means to use the API. If you create a public catalog and a user signs up for a course, does that count against the amount of trainees that are allowed on our tier? We're on the Pro tier. Yes. So when someone signs up for a course, that effectively creates a user account for them, which is just like any other user account, whether it's created via Excel upload or integration with Yammer, or on a one-by-one basis. So if you're listing courses publicly, for example, and someone goes to your catalog and signs up for that course, then it would count against one of your seats. It's also important to note, and for a lot of our customers that are training their customers, they're very high volume. They do a lot of trainees. That is one of the main reasons that we've introduced an unlimited trainee option, so that you don't have to worry about this sort of thing. So that if you're doing, pretty good volume, you don't get charged more just because you have more people taking courses. We do have those options available, and if you're interested, you have you're at that level, you've got high volume, and you want to kind of know what your ceiling is in terms of cost, just give us a call. We're happy to go through what that looks like for you, and take that that concern out of the equation.
Next question is about advanced reporting and improvements to advanced reporting pages.
I love this question, by the way.
Yeah, this is a definitely a good question, and we do get some requests here and then about advanced reporting and how we can improve upon it. Definitely shoot us an email, let us know, and we can always talk about this one, one-on-one to understand what kind of problems you're trying to solve and what kind of reports you're thinking about looking at. And we can definitely add that to the bucket list of improvements that we can put into the advanced reports.
Reporting is one of the main reasons people choose Mindflash. So having good quality reports and reports that cover what you're looking for is very important to us. To be completely frank, we get very few requests for more reports. We would love to get more requests for appropriate reports that really show you how your program's going. So if you do have specific requests that we don't cover, we would love to hear those. And we're interested in looking at what those are. We can't necessarily deliver on everything, but if you do have specific requests, please let us know, because that's definitely of interest to us to get that dialed in. Will you develop an easy way to export questions and answers from quizzes?
Yeah, so this is also kind of ties into the advanced reporting improvements, and something that we should definitely look into to understand what you're looking for to be able to export the quizzes and questions and answers. So it's in our list. We see it, and we're going to start doing a little research on it and understand how we can do this.
Can assessments be timed and closed when the time is up? No, this is effectively a timed quiz, and that's not something that we offer in Mindflash. This is a bit of an interesting question, just in terms of philosophy behind adult learning. There are a lot of schools of thought that say that you probably shouldn't time your people. There are obviously instances where that's necessary. There are a lot of requirements, whether it's continuing education or something where that be the case. So, we do get this request. It's not really something that we're looking at the moment, but certainly, if other people have this interest, then please let us know, and we'll prioritize appropriately. We do record timing at the duration that they're in a course from start to finish. So that is, while not exactly what you're looking for, it's certainly not the closing aspect. It does give you some sense of how long it's taking people to take courses.
Next question is looking at the ability to run automated reports, which can export reports to, for example, a workforce management tool. This sounds a little interesting. I would like to reach out to this specific customer and kind of talk a little bit more one-on-one about it. It's a little bit more complicated, it sounds like. So for this customer, I will reach out to you after the webinar.
I will say, though, that we do have the ability to use our API, which is heavily built around reporting. So you can pull any report that we have available within Mindflash, as well as any combination of things that you'd like to put together, anything you can dream up from our API. So if you need to pull data from Mindflash and put it into another system, that's really what the API is designed to do. And that is available and ready to roll, and has actually gotten some pretty rave reviews on the quality and the documentation around that. So I would encourage you to take a look at our API, and certainly anyone else that has needs like this, because it will most likely solve the problem for you. Would be most helpful to have the ability to edit audio when creating a course. Very time-consuming to have to start 5-minute audio from the start each time. There's an error, imperfection in the recording. Can system be modified to enable audio editing? So the audio recording that we have in Mindflash is designed for sort of shorter, one-take type audio recording. We do also support audio from external recordings. So You have the ability to record your audio directly in PowerPoint, though PowerPoint is a similar situation to the way you record it in Mindflash. However, in PowerPoint, they offer the option to import audio. That gives you the ability to create an audio file in any audio recording system you want, any number of which you can do the actual editing itself. You then would attach it as an attachment to the PowerPoint slide, and then when you upload it to Mindflash, it will play exactly as it does in PowerPoint. So for those of you that really want to time it with your animation, or you've got long takes that you want to make sure that you get right, it definitely is difficult to speak for 5 minutes off a script without making a single mistake. I definitely hear that. But that is your best option for doing that. That's actually how I often make my audio, and a lot of our demo courses will do that as well, because we have a lot of audio that goes on top of it. So that's a great option. If you're on a Mac, they come with GarageBand built in. Very easy tool to create audio files. There's any number of options that are available on a Windows machine, so a lot of them free even. But that's really your best bet to do that. And if you have any questions around how you would approach that, or specifics of how that would work, just let us know. We're happy to walk through that with you. Is there a way to limit a manager to a certain course or courses? So the manager can't be limited to course or courses. The manager can be limited to specific group of trainees. So there's no way to restrict a course so that, say, for example, Terrence can't see the onboarding courses when he logs in as a manager. He can only see the sales courses. That's not an option. But what you can set up is that Terrence can only see people in the sales group, so he can only see his employees effectively, versus the the marketing group could be assigned to someone else. Can we delete courses? Absolutely. If you archive a course, then there's an option to delete the course itself. So that is an option if you go in there and do that. But the course has to be archived before you can delete it. Can we edit a course directly from a catalog? I'm not sure I totally understand what the objective is there. It's not possible to edit a course from a catalog. Catalogs you can add courses to. They display in their current format. If you need to edit the course, then you really just need to go to the course itself and make whatever edits, whether it be the description or the content itself. You would do it there. And then those changes, of course, are reflected in the course as it's listed in the catalog, because it shows the course in its current form. But you would make those changes to the course itself. On the topic of access control, is there any plan to allow trainees to add and control content themselves, but not control other user content? I don't think I totally understand that question.
I think this is similar to the last one about being able to say, like, Jason, you have your own department, you want to have your own set of courses, and I have my own department, and I have my own set of courses. And we just answered that in the last question.
Oh, it's got a follow-up.
Yeah.
I just got it. Allowing all or specified users to add content to the larger pool, but will be published and managed by a trainer. So I think this is effectively allowing just anyone to submit content, and then the trainer can say, this is what makes up my course, and make it live. There are not any immediate plans to implement anything like that. Is there any way to get a copy of this to review later? Yes, everyone will receive a link to the webinar after the fact, the recording, so you can go back and reference any of that. I'd love a report where you can add a manager or department so that you can export and pivot on that report.
I would take that as a request for enhancing the advanced reports. This is actually, I've never heard of this one before, but it's actually quite interesting, so I will reach out to this customer as well.
So I'm about to learn something about our advanced reports here, but when you have a custom field, is that a column in the advanced reports? Yeah, so I think you could do this actually if you created a custom field and then you put the manager in that custom field. So in the Manage Users screen, you can create custom fields. you would add the manager to that custom field, so whoever the person's manager is. So Terrence's manager is Laura. Laura is in the custom field, and then when you go to the advanced reports, when you export your list, you include that field is included there, and then you can pivot off that if you export it to Excel. So I believe that's possible. We'll follow up with you just to make sure that we totally understand that and that it is in fact possible what I just said, but I believe that would work for you. Can there be a time limit or on the amount of time that a person can take a course? No, this is somewhat related to the timed quizzes. It's not possible to put a maximum number of minutes. What you can do is put a deadline on a course that's number of days from enrollment, so or weeks for that matter. But you could say that they have 1 week to complete the course. That's effectively their time limit. But you can't say you only have 25 minutes to take this course. So it's measured in increments of days and weeks rather than minutes. So as long as that's what your window is, then I guess the answer would be yes.
Next question is about API docs and where you can access that. I don't have that specific URL. It's actually on github.com, and there's a bunch of URLs after that. But you can find it from our pricing page. If you go into mindflash.com, hit up our pricing page, and click on the row that says API, and there will be a link to the API docs that will help you through sending any kind of API calls if you want to. Yeah, we'll also when we send out the link to the webinar later, we will include that link in there, just so that everybody has that.
Okay, so I believe that is the last of the questions that we have here. Sorry, one last question. The question is, it's a previous question, but can you log in on an iPad to register a trainee? The answer to that is no. Our trainer side is not mobile friendly, so you would have to use a desktop computer in order to get in, or laptop for that matter, to get into the trainer side. Okay, so thank you for everyone, not only for attending, but also for sending in the questions. There are a lot of great questions there. If you do have any further questions, I would highly encourage you to let us know. We have a team of customer success managers that are available to meet with you to talk about, how your program is designed, or specific features you're looking for, or general approach to get the most out of Mindflash and your online training in general. If you are interested in talking to one of our customer success managers and you haven't heard from one already, you can email customersuccess@mindflash.com, and we will hook you up with someone that can set up a time to go through any questions you have and get you on the path to really getting your program going. The other thing I'll add just on our customer success team is they see a lot of programs and a lot of details of what works and what doesn't. They have a lot of experience with Mindflash and with online training and how to maximize your program. So if your program's in a rut or you have a challenge, you're not getting the course completions that you're looking for, please feel free to reach out to us. It's something that we do offer, and I would encourage you to take advantage of it. They can pull a lot of knowledge together and even check with other customers to see what works or whatever, work on your behalf to make it successful. Let us know, and we will schedule a session for you. Once again, we'll be sending an email with a link to this presentation in the next day or so. We'll also send how to get your documentation on the API. There were a lot of questions around that today. And look for future emails from us on other webinars. We try to do this whenever we have a feature release coming up, or just for general other things that we have going on. So please keep an eye out for that, and we'll hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.
The